Welcome to Seed to Success, the podcast where we deep dive into the strategies, stories, and smart decisions that help VAs and OBMs grow and thrive. I'm your host, Adrienne Donnelly, and whether you're just starting out or looking for ways to take your business to the next level, you are in the right place. Thanks for tuning in. Now let's get into today's conversation. Welcome, Claire, to the podcast. It is absolutely incredible to have you on our show today.
Hello, it's great to be here. I was really excited when you offered me the opportunity to jump on with you.
When we ran into each other recently at the Women in Business conference and we were talking about getting the podcast back up and running now that I've moved house, I was like, I would love to get you on the show because I think you've got a lot of value to add. So if people aren't familiar with you or your business, could you tell us a bit about what you do?
So I'm Claire and I'm a personal branding photographer and designer, strategist. I run Oak Street Creative Co. So my thing is really helping women feel confident in front of the camera and online with their brand. So helping women to show up and shine exactly how they want to in a way that's nice and easy and fun.
And you do incredible work. I have worked with you and I have many clients who have worked with you as well. And I have the pleasure of adding photos to their website and looking at their social media and having beautiful galleries of images to choose from. You must have shot hundreds, if not thousands, of women.
Yeah.
Do you see, in terms of that photography side, do you see common themes or ways in which women are showing up when they're coming to you for branding photography?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, nobody, in my experience, there would probably be 1% of women that enjoy having their photos done. And I think the only reason why is because people don't like having their photos taken because they either don't like themselves or they've had photos done before and it just wasn't right. But I'm always making sure that before the shoot, we will connect properly and we will chat about what they need photos for and what they're going to wear and what their brand looks like and how they want it to look. So the whole process of looking at what's going to happen on the day happens before that. So when they come into the studio for the shoot, it's a lot more fun. And a lot of people just say, and I say it as well, it's just like coming to hang out for a coffee and have a bit of fun with a friend. It's not scary and it's funny. A lot of people I will see chat to me, fine, and then I'll get the camera out and then they'll go,
Everything freezes.
It's okay, breathe. So, yeah, I think a whole experience is just about, me doing my thing, but making it feel like they're not having their photo taken.
You mentioned there, Claire, the photos people maybe feel a certain way coming into those shoots because photos they've had in the past haven't been right. In your mind, what makes photos right if we are talking in the context of business owners who may be getting photos taken?
So definitely it's just all about making sure that the photos look like the person and that they're comfortable when they're having their photos taken. So the end result doesn't look off or posed or, everything looks nice and natural and they look happy and they're doing the things that they want to do. So yeah, it's a lot about that. It's just, I think, me working out how that they want to show up to start with, and what sort of person they are. Like, are they outgoing? Are they reserved? Are they like me with lots of pink and red and, all the colors? Or are they more neutral? And is that more like their personality?
And just making sure, I love what you said there around making sure what the photos look like also reflect the in-person experience you will have with that individual. Because I'm sure we've all seen photos of someone, whether it's their hair color's changed, or I get it a lot if my hair's curly naturally or versus straight, where people are like, oh, I didn't realize that was you, because, they're looking at your LinkedIn profile, they're looking at your social media, especially if you're going into, say, a coffee catch up with a potential business owner or a potential client or something like that. So having that, making sure that they're still natural but professional, I guess.
Yes, and it's making sure, I suppose, it's making sure as well that everything's consistent across all of your website and your social media, all of those channels, and everything is consistent so that people aren't going, "Oh, wait, are you that person or are you that person? Or what are you selling me? What are you telling me about yourself?" That's really important, is to be consistent.
Because I think that also helps to build trust, and especially in the world of virtual assistants and online business managers, often we have an extremely high level of trust with our clients because we are looking after their businesses for them. So we've got access to a lot of information. We know a lot about their businesses and them as individuals. So all of those different touch points then add to that level of trust, I think.
Yes, absolutely. And it's the trust thing that's changed. Back in the day, before branding, photography and online and all of that, a website would be predominantly wording and it would have a really small headshot of literally just your face, maybe not even that. And people would just read more about the information about whatever you do and hire you that way. But now, really, it's all about, if you're not showing up, then you're not trustworthy. And how can do I want to engage you if you can't show up and show me what you look like? There's a lot of that trust these days. But look, I just jumped off a little masterclass about AI photography. And I'm still sort of like, I'm definitely in two minds about having an AI branding photo shoot. But I think as well, if I don't keep up with that, it's just a matter of how am I going to be able to sort of work around that. But that's just sort of started showing up and it's been really bad. So I've been hiding behind like AI, don't do it. You'll have 3 arms and 25 fingers and everyone will. Which has been the case. So I'm being like, it's fine. You still need to have a photo shoot. But I think the technology has come so far that people are starting to use that. But in saying that as well, we can also tell if that's not a natural photo, if that is an AI version of you. And will that stop people trusting you? Will that turn them off, or will that be something that becomes unrecognizable to people? Or will it become so oversaturated that everyone starts having AI photo shoots and then it goes back to really natural photography? So it's an interesting time in my world.
Yeah, it must be. And I wanted to ask you about the evolution of the business. So did you start out just with the photography and then started expanding into those other services? And can you talk to those other services a little bit?
Yeah, so I did. I started out doing just the branding photography, which was great. And I'd be like, here you go, here's all your photos, have fun with that. And not really not thinking about it in the sense like because I knew what to do with them. I just assumed that everyone else did. But then I started going, well, why aren't you using your photos? You've got 40 beautiful retouched photos. Why have you just used one? And so I started to think about how could I show up and help. So I started the Visual Strategy Lab, which is a subscription which helps, and it's just me doing social media strategy and using all of those branding photos for my clients for their social media posts and providing captions and hashtags and hooks and all of that type of thing, just to take the overwhelm out of it as well. So, I just started thinking, well, what else can I do to help with the photos and help people use them? I'm a graphic designer as well. Like I did study graphic design. So I also branched out and said, why aren't you using your photos? And other be like, I'm just waiting for my logo designer or I'm waiting for my website designer. And they had 3 or 4 people on the go. And I'm like, wait, I can do all of that for you. Why don't I just bring that all under the one umbrella and it all sort of married up really nicely. If I was designing a logo and all of the branding and the assets, and then I would design the shoot based on that, and then we would design the website based on everything else and the social media. It just became I was just trying to make it easy, I think.
And I'm sure there's lots of people listening that go, yeah, I've had a branding shoot done and I've got a Dropbox folder full of photos and I haven't got around to updating my website, or there's still the odd photo on a profile somewhere on a social media account that's got old images. So it's and a real natural progression and a natural collection of all your skills is
Yeah.
to create those beautiful spaces for people to come and have those photo shoots done, but also then ensuring that they use them and that your work is used. And I can only imagine, obviously, the more and I've seen this happen because I've had people reach out to my clients to say, can you tell me who took all those photos? And it was you. And I said, yep, because they see their photos in use on their social media and then go, I'd love to book with her. Your photos look great. I'd love her to do mine. So I can only imagine the more people are using the photos that you've taken out there, then that's potentially good for your business too, in terms of more exposure for your work.
Yes, absolutely. If they're out there, people can see. But I think for me, it's more the people that I work with aren't necessarily creative, and especially like in online businesses that are starting, they're professionals in one area and they're not social media managers, and they're not creative, and they don't want to use Canva, and they hate it, and they need to spend the time on their business making them money. And so it was more about how can I help them do that?
Yeah, and get their work out there. And I
Yeah.
think it's hard sometimes too, because I don't know about you, if you follow a lot of other photographers, but sometimes if your feed is full of people within your industry, then when you're making social media, I sometimes feel, what do I actually have to say? What am I adding to this conversation that's different from other people? So I think even outsourcing that bit and having a third party doing that.
Yes. It's very hard to, just sort of show up. Like, we don't like just going, oh, I'm the best. Everyone, hi, I'm the best.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, God, that's so cringy.
Yeah.
But I've got a great questionnaire that I give to my clients before we work together. And it doesn't matter what we're doing, whether it's just branding or photography or whatever, but it's really in the depth. We'll go into lots of different ways, which also get them thinking about their business and how they can show up. And then we design everything around that, especially with the social media, to stand out. We design the posts and the hooks and all of that to stand out from the crowd, to make it look like we're not just the same as everybody else.
You mentioned before about the preparation for those photo shoots. If someone was to come and book in with you, what are some of those ways that, like you said, most people, as soon as the camera comes out, it's like awkward, self-conscious, we start going, I hate this part of my body, I hate my body from this angle, those sorts of things. How do you coach your photography clients through that self-consciousness or that awkwardness in the front of the camera?
I think honestly, like I've just said, we don't like big noting ourselves, but I think my personality, I don't mind having a bit of fun and making a bit of a fool out of myself and just hamming it up, I suppose. And I think that makes people feel more comfortable if I'm just mucking around behind the camera. And we just chat and have fun, and I've got the tools to be able to make them relax. And a lot of the time I won't really have the camera up in my face like this. I'll have it in a way that doesn't look like I'm actually taking the photos, and we'll chat. I'll have the music on. So they'll have a coffee, or some of them will have a champagne, and it turns into more of an experience. It's a lot of fun rather than a scary, daunting thing that we don't like.
There are so many incredible photographers out there doing work that's really similar. How have you attracted your clients, or where are your clients coming from in terms? And second part of that is, do you get a lot of repeat work with the
Mm.
photography side of things.
Yes. I get a lot of repeat clients. So word of mouth is probably the most, like, the best way that I get clients. I think people do have fun and they enjoy the experience and they get a great product. So they talk about it. But yeah, that's probably mainly that. And then those people will come. I've had clients that have had up to 6 shoots with me, especially online course creators who need to keep going and going and going. I have seen a little bit of a decline in that lately because I think AI is taking over. So yeah, creating an experience where people feel looked after and confident, I think really helps with that as well.
Yeah, and
It's
bringing
a
those people
service.
back.
I'm proud to have that because I know I help clients to feel comfortable and relaxed.
And then that creates that repeat customer or that word of mouth channel for your business because they're saying to their friends, look, I was not looking forward to this, but I had a great experience with Claire. And then bonus, you offer all these other services to them.
Yeah.
And you're also quite well aligned with a couple of well-known leaders in that online course space. So then you have other business owners that are bringing you along to conferences, like where you and I got to hang out recently together. A few conferences, actually. We saw each other, I think, 2 weeks in a row or 2 fortnights in a row at 2 different events where business owners are bringing you along to their retreats or their conferences or their kind of community get-togethers to not only capture the event but offer headshots and branding shots during those sorts of events.
Yeah, that's been really fun actually. So I sort of did a lot of event photography, which is great for quite a lot of different types of events as well, big and small, intimate and not so intimate. And then started offering that. And then as social media and trends started to happen, then I started doing more videos for reels, so snippets, things to create the content, which is more, if an event's going to be more interactive, it's great to capture the video of that as well. But then I was like, well, how else can I integrate into different situations and offer people a service? So yeah, when I did the headshots, that was fun. That's a good way to, if you don't really want to, if you only need one photo or you don't want to spend a lot of money, it's a nice way to get something.
Yeah. And you're right, especially for those of us in the online space, you could have a beautiful photo shoot and get 40 or 50 great photos, but it might only take a few months and all of those photos have been used on 2 or 3 social media tiles or people that are in the speaking space that need various different headshot options. It is one of those things where if there's an extra headshot on offer, we're going to grab it because it can't hurt to have another option, different seasons, different hairstyles, different backdrops, all of those sorts of things. Yeah,
we're always changing. I mean, we always have short hair, long hair, curly hair, straight hair, whatever we feel like. What's
a few more
fashion.
greys.
Yeah. Oh, not me. But I think, it's important. I think, as I said before, it's important to keep up to date with your photos so that people don't meet you in person and go, oh, well, that's, you don't know, 20?
Light on the retouch. Yeah. That's so true. As I mentioned, I have had the experience of working with you, being at events where you're capturing that video content, but also had headshots with you at a recent event. And you mentioned it before, you give so much of yourself. You bring an incredible energy to those events. How do you manage your own energy levels when then you're coming from those like quite stimulated environments where you are absolutely on, you're trying to get the best out of 20, 30, 40 women that are lining up to get a headshot. And then I'm assuming other days that are very quiet, very solo in front of the computer editing. How do you manage your energy with that real creative outward Claire side and then the sort of more admin and editing and behind the scenes side of things?
I think, I definitely get swept up in the magic of those big events and things like that. I really enjoy it and I love networking and chatting and getting out and about. But then, then after that, I'm like, okay, done. Like,
Yes.
if I've got a long drive home, I will turn off the radio. I'll just drive home in silence and kind of just, because it takes a lot out of you. But it
Mm,
doesn't affect me too much because I do have that downtime
mm,
of the computer work and the sitting and just the monotony of the editing and admin and all of that.
yeah.
It balances out really well. But I do enjoy that outward networking and chatting in real life.
Yeah, and you are incredible at it. You absolutely come to life in those environments. And I think you mentioned with the photo shoots before, if people are in the studio and you're happy to be a bit silly and have a laugh and make not make a fool of yourself, but put yourself out there, then it creates a safe space for other people to feel as though they can. And I've
Yeah.
absolutely seen that firsthand. You do have an incredible knack for bringing that side out of people, even the shyest people, not just women, men, everyone. Yeah, it's a real
Mm.
knack that
But
you have. Yeah.
I think that's just, it's just I'm a bit of a clown. So, and I don't really, I think my thing is I don't think before I do. So if I
Mm,
am doing something and I get a bit over the top or whatever, it's happened and I move on.
yeah.
Yeah, it's my personality definitely isn't just stuck in the studio. It will come out wherever I am. So
Yeah. And what about your own? I mean, I follow you on social media. You have incredible photography of yourself. How do you manage that? Do you have like a go-to photographer? Do you do it yourself? Are you using a different team of photographers or collaborators for your own content?
No, no. It's funny because I had a shoot in my studio when it first opened. And that was sort of a collaboration. We worked together. I did her photos, she did mine.
Mm,
And then I was up in Noosa earlier this year and I had booked a studio where I was shooting my clients and I had a bit of a gap in the middle and I was like, oh, I know, I'll just hire a photographer and get some photos done. Had the makeup artist there and everything. So there isn't someone that I work with closely,
mm,
but I change a lot too. So I think it's easy for me to go, this is what I need, this is what I want, this is what I want you to do for me.
mm.
And I still get orkies in front of the
Yeah. It depends on your mood a bit too. You know, some day, even same as like we were saying about networking, sometimes you can turn up to be like, yeah, I'm ready to mingle, I'm ready to chat. And sometimes you're just like, I don't have a lot to give today. Like social battery is low. Like we talked about this at the event we were at. It's like sometimes you're like, oh, I'm just struggling to string a sentence together. I'm assuming
Yeah.
photography is a bit the same.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, it's great what you said at that event as well to get people talking and not be awkward when you first meet people. If you don't want to talk, you can always ask a question and get other people to
Mm.
talk.
Yeah.
Still looks like you're engaging.
Yeah, but I think that's okay. You know, we don't always
Yeah,
have
for
all of
sure.
that in the tank. When people are coming to photo shoots, and I know I've struggled with this myself around knowing, because we're service providers, we don't have a physical product to showcase. We can't bring boxes of product samples to photograph. Do you have any sort of go-to places or resources that you recommend for service providers, especially those in the on-world space, in terms of the different photos they could potentially capture in photo shoots when there isn't a product to sell? It is
Mm.
themselves and their hours and their time and their expertise.
I think it's just keeping true to yourself. So it's like, what's my message?
Mm,
What do I want to convey to people with these photos? What do I do during the day at work? Am I on the computer? Am I on a laptop? Am I on the phone? Am I sitting at a desk? Do I have a stand-up desk?
mm,
Do I have a couch? Do I read on the couch in my spare time? Like all of those sort of things. I mean, I've got my bank of photos that if you don't have the products, but really it's also a lot of the time in social media, we need photos where we might be pointing at something. But so I've got a bank of images that work pretty well for everybody,
uh-huh.
but they always all look different because
Mm,
everyone looks different and everyone's sort of style and brand colors and everything are different. But yeah, I think also just doing fun things to stand out, pointing and laughing and maybe holding up a phone or holding up a laptop and using that to put messages on so that you're using photos. It's not just you sort of sitting, looking at the camera, smiling and
Right.
going.
That's
um,
so true. So
a lot of
true.
that. And I mean, I think a lot of the time you can use the photos differently. If they're far away, you can crop them so they're
Mm,
close. Sometimes I put my photos upside down on my social posts just to sort of try and get people to stop scrolling.
mm, yeah.
It's about that. How can you stand out but still stay true to yourself? And yeah,
Mm,
it's getting harder and harder to do all of that, honestly,
yeah.
because the market's so saturated now with online. And sometimes I think people just scroll without actually really even seeing anything. I know engagement's down. People aren't even hitting the like button or
Mm,
DM the word and all of that stuff.
yeah.
There's lots of ways that we have to start thinking about how else can we capture attention.
Yeah, I agree. You mentioned the whole AI photography thing, and we're seeing a lot more of AI image creation and digital twins and all of those sorts of things. You mentioned that that's something that you're just starting to look at. What else is coming up for Oak Street Images that you're excited about, or the things that you've got happening in the works as we get to the end of another calendar year?
Well, I think, yeah, it's starting to wrap up now. I mean, people are still having shoots and thinking about what they want to use the photos for. I'm going to spend some time over Christmas, New Year's looking at this sort of AI technology. And
Hmm.
I think from what I've seen, it's really great. But I also feel, is it going to be authentic enough? Like, are we
Mm,
just churning stuff out now for the sake of it? But I also have been doing for the last 13 years,
mm.
I do a Santa in the bush photos.
Oh.
So I am doing that all through November.
Mhm.
And that started because I couldn't find a great photographer for my son when he was little.
Uh-huh.
A good Santa, they were all very scary and in the shopping center, and you'd have to line up for hours. And I'm like,
Yep.
God, it's terrible. And I lived in the bush
Mhm.
down in Sydney. So I found a guy, he's amazing Santa. And I mean, the kid's been coming for years and years and years. And so, yeah, that's happening again in November. And it's a production.
Amazing.
Like I'll have 40 families come through a day.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's 3 weekends. So it's Saturday and Sunday. It's gold. I know.
Oh
I'm like,
my goodness. Yeah, like gird your loins.
yeah. Yeah.
Oh wow. That sounds
Yeah.
amazing, but and a great
So it's
service
fun.
to
Yeah.
offer for
And we
people
can
that are wanting something a bit different for their Santa
yeah,
family
yeah.
photo.
People love it. They
Yeah.
love it. And
Yeah.
people are messaging me in June. Can we book in yet?
Wow.
'Cause they can bring their
Yep.
pets and they can bring the kids. And if kids have an issue with Santa, I always
Uh-huh.
make sure that everyone's comfy there. And
Mm,
I get to muck around and be silly with the kids. And yeah, it's good fun. And
sounds
that's
like
it.
a fun but inclusive environment for the local families.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
amazing. If
And
people are wanting to find out, Claire, more about your work, but also especially the Santa in the bush, where is the best place for them to connect with you and follow along with the work that you're doing?
well, I'm always on social media, so I
Uh-huh.
think that's the best way to find me. It's
Uh-huh.
Street Creative Co.
Uh-huh.
is my handle on Instagram. I'm just launching a new website.
Ooh.
So at the moment, it's oakstreetcreativeco.com,
Uh-huh.
but there will be a new one, which will be .com.au.
Great.
But yeah, just send me a message or an email or
Yeah.
give me a call. I'll have a chat on the phone. That's about it. I'm always around to help with any questions, or if people aren't sure, don't have to work with me. If you talk to me, I can always help you out.
Perfect. Thank you. And we'll make sure we pop all those links in the show notes. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast. It's been,
Thanks for
yeah,
having.
great to learn more about you and to get some of those tips to break down any I guess, barriers or awkwardness people feel coming into those shoots? I know you've got some great resources on your website too about
Yeah.
preparing and just feeling a bit more confident going into those shoots. So very
Yeah.
much appreciate your time to come
Thank
onto
you.
our podcast.
I challenge everyone listening to come and have a shoot with me and then say they don't like having their photo taken.
I'll have to do that. I'm well overdue for photos. So challenge accepted. Thank you so much, Claire.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Seed to Success. Make sure you are subscribing so you never miss an episode. If you know a VA or OBM who might benefit from this conversation, be sure to share it with them. Let's chat again soon.